Hello, I'm Amanda Melissa, or you can call me Mandy. Welcome to my sessions of the Evolutions of Market Research, a data and analytic journey. A little bit of background about myself. So I started my career a long time ago, starting as a research executive, then joining the client side with Danone and Loreal. And then after 10 plus years of working experience, I decided to upskill myself. And I started my humble journey from Chief Consumer Officer from the Indonesia office to the data analytic team in the regional. And I move out of my market research comfort zone to the in-between of marketing and business intelligence from the with the IT team, working with new people, and a lot of learning about, I gained a lot of learning about data. I currently handle big data projects such as the social listening and online pricing for e-commerce. These 2 years has been a journey full of interesting, again, a lot of learning and insights. You can say that what I'm about to tell you is what I have learned so far, so there is no right or wrong. You feel free to ask after the presentations. I will try to answer the best way I can, okay? So I am sure that everyone can relate to this picture. Digital transformation was not easy. We call it niche. There are lots of unclarity. Data, they said it's the new oil, but it's yet so difficult to get. It was not easy to get yourself or your information organizations to actually embrace fully digital transformations. And then COVID hits. Our old way of doing things becomes irrelevant at this point. Or in fact, it was just 1 or 2 months starting March. With some markets under lockdown, that means our consumers cannot go out, or there are a lot of limitations in terms of shopping. They cannot shop the way that they used to be. Or in our case, as the beauty company, we cannot put try on, they cannot put samples. The consumers cannot meet the BA. The shopping experience shifted to online rather than offline. Also, the consumer themselves, they cannot hang out. Outdoor media probably is becoming irrelevant. As a market researcher, we got a limitation a lot of limitation as well. First, definitely, you're not the only one who get the budget cuts. But even if we do have budget and even we still do research, there will be no physical field work or limited physical field work. Even the regular data collection, there are some disruptions to it. So overnight, you were forced to change. I may put it a little bit exaggerated, but it's a change or die situations. You have no choice. You have to find new ways. The sad part is this new life with masks, this new life with COVID, and or the shift to e-commerce or cashless payment, it will stay. It will stay for a while, if not for good. It's either because it will take us a little while to actually develop the solutions for the virus, or because people see the good of all these changes and decided to continue adopting it. Then, question to yourself, are you over with your denial stage? I hope you are. Or are you still at the panic stage? Or are you already planning for change? Or are you even already now adopting the change? If you have these three spirits, good, then we can move on. But if you don't, keep listening. I probably will still try to convince you to change. It starts very simple, okay? We need to take a new portrait or re-portraying our consumers. Imagine how they have changed. As a market consumers, I always believe in consumer centricity, putting the consumers at the focus of whatever we do and tailor our approach. This is how I imagine my consumers from the beauty category. I keep this very simple. You can use whatever framework you have, but go back to focus and imagine again how your consumer is doing right now. what would be their need. In beauty, they have to adopt with the mask life. They need to wear this mask. So obviously they may have skin problem, they adjust their makeup. They would be needing something healthy, or they would become more health conscious, or even sanitation free more than ever. Of course, mental wellness or mental well-being, everyone has to cope up with this a long period of uncertainty. So it's becoming something that is widely discussed. And also with the need to support the local or domestic economy, they will be thinking to have something that is sourced locally and have this local pride. This will be one of the key notions. Connected, do I need to say more? They would be more connected than ever, and they would be more rational than ever, simply because most of the market have said that they would gone under recessions. It would be, again, a long period of uncertainty. They would opt for the brand that they trust. So it's important for us as a manufacturer, probably we can rethink on how do we approach back consumers and what kind of message that we should provide to them. Then in terms of media or in terms of their information exposures, definitely multi-screen. If not, then now single screen, but not TV, would be their handphones or laptops. Then we need to reconsider about how do we put our outdoor media strategy, or should we consider new media or leveraging the social media to approach them, like TikTok or live selling video on the e-commerce platforms. Or I think China has a lot of examples, like using using the WeChat or Kakao in Korea or Naver. There are a lot of examples from the Northern Asia about this using the social media to embrace the consumers. How do they understand? How the consumer understand? Back then, they can just go to the department store to ask. Right now, they cannot even go to the department stores. What do we do? And lastly, how would they, may not be the last, but you probably have more, is how they buy. If they go to e-commerce, which e-commerce, why? What do they buy on e-commerce? And if they still stick with the offline channels, why? Which one? Who? So start with these important questions and revisit what happened with your consumers. Then just sharing you what are a couple of things that changed the game. Right now we do have, I think most of the players would have the e-beauty advisor. This is an example from LVMH. It's not launched recently. It has been there for a while ago, but they activated just now, and it's just the perfect timing. And now also for the e-retailers, now they have the e-beauty advisor or e-personal shoppers. It's like a chatbot. In almost every e-retailers, you would have this. Also the e-boutique of the brands, they would definitely have this. And also now people can put on live selling video on Instagram, even on Shopee. And people watch it. Consumers are watching it. It's like, for them, it's the new way of shopping. Even now, TikTok, I'm just going to play this. This is on a TikTok. It's about, yeah, this is about a new serum product in Indonesia, where they use the TikTok to actually kind of sell or talk about the product. And even better, TikTok is now letting the creators to sell. They're allowing their platforms to sell products. And beauty forums, right now, when the consumers have nowhere to go to ask for products, what is the product review, what is the information of products, forums, you need to find where your consumer asks questions. I think in our case, it would be which beauty forums that they go to. And try-ons. Right now, you really cannot try, or you don't even dare to try the samples. So L'Oreal has this Modiface, which is a kind of beauty cam where we put it on the Shopee. And if you're, for example, if you're interested to buy foundation, you can try it on virtually and see if they're matching your skin tone or not. And there's a guarantee. If it doesn't match, you can return it back. So digital is no longer a channel that is just nice to have. It's not when everyone have access to the phone or to access the digital. And imagine when the consumer sees the IG live of a brand, of a beauty blogger, then access the e-commerce retailer apps, be it Shopee, Lazada, or something else, to see the price, and even if they have questions, they can have a chat with the EBA or the shopper assistant. Then they try the product virtually and even do consultation digitally. If all of this is happening in digital, you want to keep them within the same funnel. You don't want them to escape. You want to guard them. So e-commerce is no longer just another channel of selling, but rather an experience, a seamless experience that you have to manage and you have to get. So our shopper understanding has to be able to provide information for our stakeholders to capture this entire funnel. And even further, what it means that is appealing to digital consumers means appealing for everyone, but how to make your brands different from competitions, that's now our questions. One of the things, this is not something new, this is something that has been there quite a while ago. We need to think, how can we make our insights useful or usable or actionable for our media and digital team? So instead of using segments, which means it's usually based on demography, one person can be classified into one group, maybe we should think about using tribes. Tribes is a segment classification. Yes, it's still using segment, but it's a classification of consumer that is based on interests, meaning that one person can be classified into many groups. May sound confusing, not really. So instead of asking age, SES, tier 1 cities, we provide the media agency something that is actionable. So say if this one, fresh graduate, first jobber interested in a healthy food diet, Korean drama trends, Japanese skincare, looking for trendy Instagrammable cafe or hangout. That means we are giving leads to the media agency to think of, oh, okay, that means instead of putting it on any channels on the televisions, I focus on Korean drama, or I focus on channels like Viki or View, when I wanted to advertise something. It's actionable rather than the segments. The other important thing on top of reportraying your consumers is the new measures and new standards. Just like this one, probably back then, what matters is just winning the game. But today is how to do it safer, smarter, and at the right time. What matters for our stakeholders has changed. As a market researchers, we live to provide information or insight to our stakeholders. Of course, it's because the consumer has changed. Of course, our important stakeholders have shifted. Now, instead of previously focusing on the physical channel, now we also need to bear in mind the e-commerce channel. The expectation is not less than what we had before, but even more, smarter, more faster. It has to be reliable, and even as much as possible real time. Before, probably our KPI is just about retail market share, which is easy. We get it either from Control Panel, or we get it from Nielsen or another panel provider. Now, or previously, it's just the brand health track. You check on the top of mind, brand equity. No, now what matters is different. You need to provide something for the business team to take quick actions. For example, share of search, trending keywords, hot topics, e-commerce market share. What is the traffic? So these are new, and I will talk more what it means for us. Yes, wait, it sounds like a lot of things to change. Yeah, it sounds like it's an overhaul, but in fact, it was not. Okay, just take a breath. Yes, the type of KPI, as I mentioned in this slide, the one slide before, there would be new digital KPIs based on probably data that we are not familiar before, or we've never had it before. For example, the $1 million questions of the e-commerce market size or market share, if you know what I mean. This, I think most of us have tried, even before the pandemic, how to get it, but probably we need to contact new people to help us to provide solutions to this. Or the data collections for the digital KPI, we need to call someone new, definitely not our big partner researchers. Probably we need to contact the media agencies. Well, the type of data source also changes. Again, it's because we've never, or I don't know, previously there are a lot of information, like I never care about traffic. Now it's back on, as part of my KPI. I never care about trending keywords or search terms. Where does my keywords sit on this search trends? So these are new. And these are new source of data. What it means also is that previously you probably work with a short list of people that you've been working together forever, right? Now you need to work with new people, like for example, the tech startups or tech company, which will help you to get the data that you want, but they may not know how to actually interpret the data or how to actually check the sanity of the data. Working with tech company, I would highly suggest that you don't work alone. You will need to bring some IT partner from your organizations. In Loreal, we call it our business intelligence IT or BI team, which within that team, you have data engineers, you have data architect or solution architect, which basically they would help you to store the information and structurize it so you can use the data the way that you need to use it. Because it would be so naive to think that if it can be done with an Excel or PowerPoint, then you can do it yourself. No, this is the moment when you take half an hour just to open a file and half an hour just to edit one cell, okay? So make new friends with the IT team. Then the ways of working, obviously, with the research partner or best friends all these years, it would be simple. Everyone knows what needs to be done. Everyone knows the drill. Everyone knows that there should be no room for error. But when you work with new people, of course, there would be new language. There would be new jargons, new terms. They even think differently with a new mindset, and especially with the data analytics. Now, the term is not, or the way of, or the mindset is not, you prepare, like, okay, back then we prepared one big quantitative study. You prepare where in the preparation, you take time, then there's a data collections, then you make the reporting. Now, when you work it like with the tech company, you have to break it in sprints. It's shorter, but you refine after every what they call sprints. So it's shorter yet longer. So it's experiments, a lot of experimenting within the frame. So it will also change your timeline. You have to be comfortable with it. But I'm telling you that it's gonna be okay. you put your, you still have a value because you need to put your the consumer voice or face on the numbers. You are still the best person to talk to or to advise your organization about consumers. Number is just number, but without any sense or without any relation to different insight or numbers. Okay, so you still have your value in it. You are still the best person for reliable and credible data. Bear in mind that having a lot of data is not the same with having a lot of insights. So you still have the best sense to identify which data are relevant, which one is making sense or not. And last, I think you need to upskill yourself constantly. Unfortunately, the skills that is relevant today is not like in the old days where you just have one and you stick it with you forever. No, it's something that what is true today may no longer valid the next month or not next week. What cannot be done today, next week or probably next month, someone has a solution for this. So do learn a lot. There's lots of ways. You have Coursera, you have Code Academy. Learn about the digital marketing, digital insights, data visualization tools. You definitely need to learn about data analytics. So there you go. So keep on improving. That means is keep changing. And any way to be perfect is to change often. I hope that helps. Now I think I'm going to take all the questions. Please feel free to ask any questions. And also thank you for listening. I'm going to take all your questions now. So please write it on the chat or raise your hands if you want to ask any questions.